This is question 11 on the higher calculator paper. Now let's read the question first. The diagram shows a cube and a cuboid. So here's the cube, all the edges, all the sides are equal, the height, the length and the depth or the width, they're all exactly the same, they're x, and the cuboid, that's 2, 5 and x. All measurements are in centimeters. The volume of the cube is 100 centimeter cubed, more than the volume of the cuboid. Okay, so almost missed that. The volume of the cube is 100 centimeter cubed, more than the cuboid. Show that x cubed minus 10x is equal to 100. So I'm going to do some workings up here. So volume of cube is going to be x times x times x, and that's going to be x cubed. And then the volume of the cuboid is going to be 2 times 5 times x. So 2 times 5 times x. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times x is 10x. So what they've said is that the volume of the cube, so the volume of the cube is 100 centimeter cubed more than the volume of the cuboid. So if I did x cubed take away 10x, so x cubed take away 10x is going to equal 100. And I've effectively shown this. I'm going to put a reason as well, because the volume of the cube is 100 centimeter cubed more than the volume of the cuboid. Now, I don't think you need to put that explanation here. I think you're going to get those 2 marks for working out these 2 volumes and then showing that if you take away one from the other, you're going to get 100. Okay, the next part of the question is a trial and improvement question. I'm going to raise the paper upwards. Okay, in part B, the question says, use a trial and improvement method to find the value of x. Give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. You must show all your workings. And the equation that we're trying to work out is the value of x for is x cubed minus 10x is equal to 100. Okay, so that's pretty standard in terms of trial and improvement questions, but what I am going to do is I'm most definitely going to put a table down and a big space in the center, and there you have it. I'm going to put x here. I'm going to put 100 here because that's my target number. I'm going to say whether my answers are too big or too small. And in the middle, I'm going to work out x cubed minus 10x for several different numbers. Now, one of the things about this particular question is they haven't told you where to start off. They haven't told you possible numbers to begin with. So I'm going to pick out some random ones, right? So I'm going to just start with 3 for no particular reason, right? So I'm going to do 3 cubed take away 10 times 3 and see what that equals. And remember, my target is 100. So I'm going to be using the calculator a lot for this. 3 cubed take away, and I'm going to put the 10 times 3 in brackets. 10 times 3 equals, and that gives me minus 3, so I'm actually way out. That's very small. So I'm going to try a much bigger number. I'm going to try, say, 7. Okay, so I'm going to do 7 cubed take away 10 times 7. And let's see what I get there. So 7 cubed take away, and in brackets 10 times 7. I've got something much larger now, 273. That's definitely too big. So I'm going to try 5 this time, and let's see what that gives me. 5 cubed take away 10 times 5. That's 75. Actually, I didn't write it in. 5 cubed take away 10 times 5, and that gives me 75. Now that's too small, but that is going to be closer to 100. I'm going to try 6 now. So 6 cubed take away 10 times 6. 6 cubed take away 10 times 6. That's 156. That's too big. But that tells me that my answer to one decimal place is going to be between 5 and 6. So I'm going to start off by looking at 5.5, the number that's halfway between both of those. So 5.5 cubed take away 10 times 5.5. That's 111. And that's too big. So I'm going to try something just slightly smaller. 5.4. 5.4 cubed take away 10 times 5.4. Let's see what that is. I'm going to use the replay button to actually hasten this up. So if I go backwards, delete, change the 5 to a 4, and go back to the other one. That's 103.464. 103.464. And that's still too big. I'm going to try 5.3 now. So 5.3 cubed take away 10 times 5.3. So once again, I'm going to use the replay button to change all those 0.4s to 0.3s. And that's 95.877. 95.877. And that's too small. But that's particularly useful now because I want to get my answer as 100, right? And my answer is going to be one of these two numbers, 5.4 or 5.3. Now, 5.3 gives me an answer which is about 5 too small, and 5.4 gives me an answer which is about 3 or just over 3 too big. Remember, 100 is my target number, so that means 5.4 is going to give me the closer answer. So 5.4 is going to be my answer. However, there's something that we need to do in order to make sure that we get full marks, because the examiners state that you need to use this a technique where you also consider the number between 5.4 and 5.3, the number between these two, right? I'm going to choose the halfway number between these two, 5.35 is between those two, and I'm going to check what that gives me. Now 5.35, depending on what answer that gives me, that tells me whether I need to go higher than it or lower than it, right? 5.35 gives me 99.63. Now that will give me 99.63. 99.63 is still too small, right? Now because that's too small, that means that the number I'm going to go to, right, has to be bigger or give me an answer bigger than 99.63. So in between these two, I'm going to go to the bigger number, which is 5.4, which is what we said originally. But you have to do this last bit here, right? Try this middle number in order to get full marks. If you don't do this line here, don't show that you've tried 5.35, you'll only get 5 out of the 6 marks. So make sure you try this last bit here. I'm just going to extend my lines downwards because I did do quite a few trials here. And this is quite a unique trial and improvement question, right? Because normally they do give you starting points, If you take your time with it, you should be able to get full marks. Go over this a couple of times and make sure you are able to do it and get full marks in it.